Hey everybody, it's Neil here from Post to Post. Thanks for joining me today. It's Friday, and Friday means creativity. Sometimes it means logos, sometimes it means jersey concepts, sometimes it just means whatever you guys have created and you want to send in for me to review, rank, or react to. So this video specifically, if you can already tell by the thumbnail and the title, we are looking at custom NFL logos, 32 custom NFL logos created by Jason Ronaldo. Listen, I've been trying to do this every single Friday and every single Monday because I love design. I work as a graphic designer. I've worked as a graphic designer, photographer, videographer for the past 15 years. Okay, I love creativity and design, and when you guys send stuff in for me to look at, so much stuff that I have to dedicate a Friday and a Monday to, this is a good life, and I would love for you to join me here. Hit the subscribe button down below and catch me every single Friday and Monday talking design. And I'm very excited to show you guys some of these logos. I know we have some NFL fans on the channel, but yeah, we usually talk hockey on this channel, but I don't mind dipping into other sports. Today's the NFL. Let's do it. I've ranked these custom logos 32 to 1 or 1 to 32. We're going to go through them in reverse order, 32 to 1. Let's do it. Let's jump right into it. In 32nd position, I have ranked Jason's Ravens logo. I'm sure I'm going to get some flack here in the comments, and that's totally fine. You know what? If you need to call me names to make yourself feel better, that's great. But and I know there's a cult following behind the Maryland state flag. I don't get it. I collect flags. My entire garage is full of flags on the wall and ceiling. I don't get the hype or the love behind the Maryland flag. I think it's unique and it's interesting at the very least. But visually, it is just kind of all over the place, and I can't get my head around it. So having that being represented in the logo here that he's created completely makes sense, but I don't like the flag. Therefore, I don't really like this logo that much. It's just too busy, so I had to rank it last based on the Maryland state flag. In 31st position, I've ranked the Saints. To me, this is a bit off balance. I understand it's cool to see the depth and the S run through the N, but we have a balance issue here because of the sizing. If you look at the bottom that has that fleur-de-lis sitting in the bottom of the S, it's the same size, or that the bottom shape is roughly the same size as the shape above that has the N and the O, and then the top of the S. So when my eye is looking at it, I don't know if I should go down or should go up. And from a design perspective, you kind of want there to be visual flow to the logo, and for me personally, it's just not anything here right now. Number 30, the Packers. Listen, the Packers have always had a very simplistic logo. It works, and this is also simplistic, but unfortunately, it does not work for me. It's a little bit too busy. I can see the letters in here. I understand it, but it almost looks like some weird, one of those weird, not a Rubik's Cube, but they come in like wooden blocks, and you can kind of undo them one line at a time, and if you undo everything, it looks like this weird shape, but it all goes back together and makes a cube. I don't know what they're called, but that's what this kind of reminds me of. It makes sense. I understand it, but it's just all over the place. It's just a little bit too busy. For that reason, I had to rank it low. Number 29, the Jaguars. Love the colors. I've always loved Jaguars colors, but maybe not a great integration between the J and the paw here. I like that little eye. The touch of the little eye is nice, but I think maybe it's lacking some shadow and depth that way. It does have depth because part of the paw is on top of the J and the other part's underneath it, but maybe there's just some shadow or some 3D aspects that are lacking here. Number 28, the Giants. This is a fine logo. It has a nice football element in it. It's got the football above there. It's got the skyline, which is great. I don't know if the text going through the skyline was the right decision. Again, it almost lacks a bit of depth from a shading perspective. There's no drop shadow. There's nothing. It's just a little bit too flat. And I think maybe a missed opportunity. Maybe if you just add a shadow coming on the right side of the Y in behind that building, might have been better. Number 27, the Eagles. Not too bad. This is ranked solely on the fact that I like the current logo more. This is a fine logo. The Liberty Bell totally makes sense in there. It's very symmetrical, more symmetrical than their current logo, but their current one's a little bit more modern, and I just prefer that, to be honest. Number 26, the Falcons. Again, I prefer their current logo over this one, and it's having the A it's weighted to the right. So while it is symmetrical with the wings coming up, I don't think the look of the Falcon outweighs the weight of the A design wise. It's a bit too heavy on the eyes to the right. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but It feels off balanced. Number 25, the Lions. This is a totally fine logo. There's not really anything wrong with it. It's very simplistic. The lines in behind. Sometimes you see that on jerseys on the shoulders. Sometimes you see that on paint on the face. So on helmets specifically, running back. So that general shape is used a lot on jerseys and along the arms as well. You can see it here in this kind of hockey sweater I have on. So I'm okay with the lines in the background there. They don't busy it up too much, and it's kind of nice seeing that blue come from one line and come over to the other one. But again, I just prefer their current logo. Number 24, the Browns. I guess this is an improvement over their current one because their current one is just a helmet. At least this one has a C in there as well. So I like that, and I kind of like how the helmet almost looks like it's not that you want this to happen in football because obviously it's dangerous and it would be concussions and all that stuff. But it looks like whoever was wearing this helmet just got hit and the helmet was just flying off, which again, not something you really want to see, but it gives the presence of physicality in the sport. And I don't think there's a more physical sport than football. Obviously, hockey is very physical, but there's so much brutality in football versus hockey that I think this is a good representation of the physicalness of the sport. Number 23, the Bengals. This one's pretty decent. I love the striping or the claws, whatever. I think it's striping at the top, but it also could be, interpreted as claws at the top, coming through the top of the C. The paw coming out. Not sure if it quite looks like a cat paw. It looks more like if a Sasquatch had claws. I guess it's a little. I'm not sure. I think the arm is like big cats like that. They have such huge paws, and compared to the thickness of their leg. So I'd like to see this get a little bit thinner, this area, and the paw just get a little bit thicker. Number 22, the Raiders. This is a really nice meld of city and past stylization. So you have the swords in there, you have their typical colors, which is great, and then you have the skyline in Vegas, which is pretty cool, to be honest. It's a little bit too gimmicky for me though, with all the lights, the Vegas bulbs kind of coming around. Maybe a little bit too gimmicky and flashy, but hey, that's what Vegas is known for, so maybe this would work. Number 21, the Bills. I'm not a big enough football fan to know the difference between the current Bills logo, and this one. I think it's just mirrored horizontally. I don't really notice any specific changes. I apologize, Bills fans, and I apologize, Jason, who made these. If there are any changes, I don't just personally see them. But I still like the logo. Number 20, the Texans. Love the shades of red and blue that the Texans use. Their current logo is very nice, but this one, it does have a bit of dimension. I think the kind of extenuated drop shadow of the outline of Texas, or that logo, is nice here, but I'm almost missing it from the bull as well. And it creates an angle that the bull's not at, so I'm not sure. There's something weird going on with the angle and the perspective here, and the head of that bull. I don't know if it's missing a mouth. I might want to see like one of those rings come out here or something. If I close it up like this, if I block off the bottom and just look at the head with the horns, it almost looks like a dolphin or something. A dolphin with horns. So I think there's something to be worked on there in the head, but it's pretty decent. Number 19, the Seahawks. In a way, this kind of looks like a baseball logo. Baseball likes to utilize those circular logos with something in the middle and then either a pattern or text around the outside. So although this is a football logo, and I think it does work, it looks pretty nice. It reminds me of a baseball logo in a way. But Seahawks love their colors, always have. This looks pretty good. Number 18, the Panthers, a team that has a very good current logo. This one's nice as well. I actually like the depth here. Now the eyes of the panther itself almost looks like he's crying because it's coming off here, and we can't see the expression on the mouth because it's all silhouetted. So I either would change the design of the eyes to look a little bit more fierce, or add the mouth and have some kind of ferocity or something in there just to display anger or intensity. The rest of the logo though has a lot of nice flow. The angle at which the panther is leaning with his back right leg kind of extended and is an arched back like that. Also, you kind of see that with the tilt of the C here. for Carolina is italicized. It's leaning a little bit. So those two angles really play off each other, and I really like that. It's a subtle little touch of this logo that I love. Number 17, the Dolphins. A little gimmicky, kind of like the Vegas one, but still this kind of works for me. I've always loved the Dolphins colors. They've played around, I guess, with some secondary and tertiary logos in the past. I could totally see this being something that they would try in the future. Obviously got the Dolphins in there. A nice, well-drawn and partially silhouetted skyline in the background. And then just the rest of it represents the sun, which, the sunshine state. So good job here, Jason. Number 16, just Washington football team, whatever you want to call it. They have not been rebranded yet. So I didn't want to put them last, and I definitely didn't want to put them in the top, 10 or something. I kind of decided to put them in the middle. And also because of the logo itself that Jason's designed here, it's not bad. When I think of logos like this, I do think of the MLB or baseball specifically. They love to use logos like that where they intertwine letters and just letters. But this does kind of have an intimidating factor to it. I don't know if it's the big sharp thing that's coming off the back and that it's angled. When I think of football players, they're leaning over towards the action that's just about to happen. Those letters are kind of having the same stance, so kind of works, to be honest. It's simple, but it works. It's gonna be interesting to see what they rebrand to. We actually held a contest on the channel rebranding, and it was a lot of fun. So if you haven't seen that, please go check it out. There's some awesome designs in there. Number 15, the Vikings, my favorite team, wearing the hat today. I love their actual logo, this one here on the top, or a variation of it. And this was another good design by Jason. I can completely see this being a secondary or tertiary logo in their lineup. It's very simple. I could 100% see that on a t-shirt or a sweater or a jersey or something like that. That would look awesome. So I'm a big fan of this. I don't like it more than their current one though, but I like it a lot. And the top flag that just has the little horn that's coming out, that's pretty cool. Number 14, the Broncos. I don't know if this is better than their current one, but I do quite like it. I think this is depth done properly, where you're really taking advantage of the negative space of the D and just making something of it. The D remains, but you're just adding life to the letter by having something come out of it, almost like an explosion or something. So the Bronco looks angry. It does go in line with their current logo and their branding, so it looks really good. I'm a big fan of this one. Number 13, the 49ers. This is slightly busy in the middle, but I get the sense of, and I know it's a football, obviously, in the middle, but it almost looks like a football field as well, in a way, because of the lines in the middle. I kind of see the field there, and because it's flat, it's symmetrical. There's a lot going on here. There's different shades and stuff on those little, I don't know, star things, not diamonds, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. And then the big pitchforks or axes, that's pretty cool in the background there. So there's a lot of strength that's being portrayed from this logo. It is simple. I think it would look great probably on the side of a helmet or something. So I'm a fan of this one. A little bit busy in the middle, but otherwise pretty good. Number 12, the Titans. A little cartoony, but you know what? This would be intimidating. It matches the T inside that shape there. The sword, it mirrors each other in a way. There's perspective here because the handle's way above and everything kind of comes down. So this would look great on t-shirts and hats and sweaters and jerseys. I'm a big fan of this one. Number 11, the Bears. I was criticized once for ranking the Bears logo very low, and it was a version that wasn't very attractive, but I know it's iconic and I know it has a lot of history, and I know that the Bears have multiple logos and people were angry that I didn't choose the other one. So this has a little bit of both. This has the bear and it's got the sea and it's got the skyline of Chicago, which is great. I always forget the name of that building. It used to be the Sears Tower, and I think is it the Willis Tower? I love seeing that in there. Bit of balance issues here. Big C, skyline's big, and then the bear on top is the same size as the skyline, so my eye is kind of fighting for position. What's the primary element in this logo? But it is melded quite well. Face of the bear could use a little bit of work, but yeah, I do like this. Number 10, the Colts. They have probably the most simplistic logo that's not a letter in all of maybe professional sports. It is a very iconic logo, so it's odd seeing something new from the Colts here that Jason's come up with, but it's good. It's pretty good. I think the horse torso or body needs some work in behind the front leg. It's a little bit too straight. Horses are a little bit more muscular under there, so I maybe prefer to see a little bit more work design-wise back there. But I love the sharpness of the mane coming back and the intense eyes and then the rivets kind of going around. This is a very nice logo. I would love to see, if they tried to modernize or anything, I could totally see them using something like this. Number 9, the Cowboys. It makes sense. It kind of does. It feels a little bit more modern than they're currently using, the logo that they're currently using, but it almost feels almost historic at the same time, as if this could either be a totally new logo for them that would work, or it could be, like if I didn't know anything about the NFL and you showed me a bunch of images of Cowboys logos and you said, pick the first one from the, I know you don't know, but pick the first one. This might be it because of the old school guy in the front with the hat on and the star on the front. It looks very original or classic and kind of modern at the same time. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but either way, I like it. Number 8, the Chiefs. I love the bridge in the background. That is so wonderful and is drawn beautifully. It's very simple, but it's all these logos Jason has drawn are very complementary of each other. All these logos together have very nice relationships with one another. They all, you can see his artwork kind of blend together here. I just like how he drew this. Simplistic, but you know exactly what it is. Football in the bottom. You got the arrowhead outline. You can argue in the comments whether you want this gone or not. I don't care. I like it. Number 7, the Patriots. Probably my least favorite team in the NFL, just because I'm just so tired of hearing about them. But this is a very, very nice logo. Utilizing some of their elements that they currently use, adding the N and the E for New England in the background there, but also makes the same shape of the general logo. Just a nice little subtle touch to improve the logo. I actually really like this one. Number 6, the Cardinals. You got the Arizona state outline as kind of the backing image, and we see that in hockey on the Arizona Coyotes as a shoulder patch, I believe. And then you have the actual Cardinal in here with this one. So to see it colorized like this is odd because I think about the Arizona Coyotes, which don't use these colors. But the Cardinals, seeing it like this, I am a huge fan of this. I absolutely love it. The expression on the Cardinals' face is very serious. It's not really aggressive or intense. It's just like they're just going to go out and they're going to get the job done, and they're going to be super serious about it. And when it's over, they're not going to cheer. They're going to go on to the next game, and they're going to win that one. I don't know. That's just the expression I get. So it's all about being serious and getting it done. And I love the background there, the take on the Arizona state flag. Number 5, the Buccaneers. Their current logo is so good, and I'm not saying that this is. I won't say that this is better or worse. It is very good. It is very simple. It is menacing. It is intense. It's aggressive, and that's exactly what it should be for what their brand is. I love this. It's a little oddly shaped, but fantastic. Number 4, this might catch a couple people by surprise. I put the Rams. And I just like what Jason did here. It's super simple. Taking a letter and then making a creature out of it, which is a ram. You've got the ram horns coming off the top of the R, coming all the way back and looping under, giving it not only a personality, but also having some depth in there. It's just really fantastic decision here. Number 3, put the Jets. Hey, listen, I'm a simple man. I like aviation. You're going to put a plane on there? That's going to get ranked high. That's simple math, simple Neil math. Plane equals good. So I really like this one a lot. Football underneath almost looks like that's maybe part of the fuel tank or something. It's great. I love it. Number 2, the Steelers. I am personally not a huge fan of their current one. I know what it represents. I know there's a lot of meaning behind it. It is very simplistic. That's great. I don't know why. I'm just not really a fan of it. This one, however, I really, really like. It's as simple, but has the same general elements, but some additions. So you actually have a letter here with the P, and then the bridges. Pittsburgh is known for their bridges, like geographically. There's I don't even know how many bridges in Pittsburgh, probably like 4 or 5 at least. It's kind of what they're known for. So to have that represented in the logo, in the negative space of the P, keeping those 3 pinnacle stars or whatever you want to call them in there, that's great. The way that the letter itself is shaded is great. This is simple and I love it. And number 1, the Chargers. I hate the Chargers logo. It is probably the worst logo, I think, in maybe so many of the professional sports out there. It's such a missed opportunity. It's such a missed opportunity. So I'm super happy that Jason went this way. Jason, I think you did a fantastic job. You've created a shield, which is totally makes sense for the name of the team, and you've split it. Shields are generally not flat; they're angled like this. And to create that angle using shading, you make one half one color and make the other half the other color. Just doing that, subconsciously, your brain understands that shield has a bit of an angle to it because of the way that light hits certain angles. And then you've inverted the colors of the letters, the L and the A, to mirror it or balance it, which is, man, that's great. And then you have the actual logo that they currently use, for the most part, in the middle. And you get a horse in the background. Love it. This is awesome. I'm a big fan of this one. I'd buy a t-shirt with that on it. So, Jason, great job. Not only did you create one logo, you created 32 logos, and they all look really good together. Like your designs, they're all really simple, and I mean that in a positive way. I just think you did a really fantastic job here, and I'm super impressed. Not just with one, but with 32, man. You came up with 32 logos. You know how long that would take me? That would take me forever. So I'm just, this isn't the first time you've submitted either. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And every time I see you work, you get even better. So I'm really impressed. You have a lot of talent. So thanks, Jason, for submitting those. If you guys want to follow Jason on social media, Jason, if you're watching, which I assume you are, please link your social media down below so people can follow you, so they can find more of your work, your portfolio, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you post your stuff. Please link it down below. I will pin that comment. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Please hit the subscribe button if you like anything to do with design, whether it's logos, jersey concepts, helmet designs, all kinds of crazy stuff I'm ranking on this channel and reviewing. We'd love it if you could join me every Friday, every Monday for some design stuff, and then other videos throughout the week as well. So please join me here. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and I'll catch you later. Adios.